Hey everybody, this is going to be a YouTube video on how to build a compressor. I call it a compressor, where if you have a lot of wheat or iron or watermelon slices and you want to turn them into melons and hay bales and stuff like that, usually you can use a crafting table to do that, but there's a lot of clicking and moving items into the crafting table in order to get everything to work. So I'm going to show you this thing that I saw, I think from JBL 2579. I think I have that right, and he showed what it does, but he didn't give a tutorial on how to build it, so I'll show you what this one does and then I'll show you how to build it. So what we have here is 16 droppers going all the way down this line, and this has already been filled up with some wheat, just a little bit of wheat, and each dropper has an equal amount of wheat in it, and that's part of what this system does. Is you put your source stuff in this chest, or however you want to feed this hopper line right here, and then it distributes it evenly across all of these droppers, so they all have the same amount of items in them, and that's done automatically. And then what you do is you stand right here and open up the crafting table, turn that switch on, and all the items will come flowing to you, and you have to set your inventory up in such a way that you force the items to only come into this one slot here, your number 1 slot. And the reason why you want to do that is because when you get into the crafting table, I'll show you here, if I move my mouse over any one of these crafting table slots and I press the 1 key, it moves in the item from number 1 by just simply having my mouse over it. I don't have to left click my mouse or anything, I just press 1. So basically when this machine is on, what we're going to be doing is just moving our mouse over without clicking the mouse, and just pressing 1, 1, 1, 1 as the items come into the only possible open slot in our inventory. And then when this is full enough, at any time we hold shift and click here, the product area, and that will automatically go into this area, fill up one of these hay bale slots. So that's the whole concept. So let's see it in action. So turn this on. We're getting filled up with some wheat pretty quickly. So we press 1 and 1. I'm not going to wait until a full thing of 64. Then I have some more. 1. Find another empty spot. 1. Empty spot. 1. Empty spot. 1. You can see it's doing 64 pretty quickly. And we're done. So I'll just kind of fill out the rest here. Okay, but if you had a ton of stuff, you can kind of see how this would be helpful. And this has enough storage. The way it's set up here is for 1 double chest in each slot, and then there's actually 3 hoppers plus the dropper itself, so you got a decent amount of storage there. And once these chests are full, it's set up in a way that it'll speed fill the droppers because it has 2 inputs going into the dropper. So let's go ahead and build this so you guys can use it, and if you have your iron farm or a big wheat farm going, this will help you out. So let's get the stuff we need to build it. We need some redstone components and things like that. Might as well pick that stuff up. Okay, so we'll start fresh over here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your droppers, and we're going to just put out 16 droppers. I think that's 16. Let's check. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16. Okay. So there you go. That's the 16 droppers. Now you're going to dig a 1 deep hole with 2 blocks wide all along the kind of bottom of the droppers. Okay, then you're going to start here with some redstone. Put some redstone in every other dropper, just like that, and then a repeater in the other slots. Okay, then take redstone and just fill all this out. Okay, and we're going to place a block right here with a repeater going into that block and some redstone, and we'll come back to this part in a little bit. We're going to hook some more stuff up over here. Now let's take our hoppers and let's do one on the top, one on the back. So one on the top, back, and then top of that one. So do that. And you hold shift while you're doing that. Okay, so we have that done. Now let's go up top here, and we're going to do, so you can't do two regular chests next to each other, so just switch between trap chests and regular chests. So just put them right on top of these hoppers. Okay, so now we have that part ready to go. Now let's go ahead and put some more hoppers on the back of these chests. Okay, and then we need some more hoppers up here, and actually let's go ahead and just give ourselves a little bit of an extension out here. Okay, and this is going to be what we're about to put down is going to be the kind of the feed line for the system. So this hopper line right here could come from wherever your source of your iron or wheat is. For now we'll just pretend there's a chest here that's the source. And so then what we want to do is continue that all the way down. You want to go out give yourself 2 extra hoppers out there, and then just kind of fill this in. So these are going over the top of the ones that we just put in on the back. That was a mistake. Okay, so there you go. So you should have a straight line feeding in this direction. And then what we need to do is we need to make a loop back that goes right back into this hopper, so it's facing into there, and it's going, these now go in the opposite direction. Okay. Oops. Alright. And one more right there. Okay. Now this is pretty important. See how this hopper is facing that way when we started out? We don't want that. We want it to face we want it to face right into that hopper right there. And actually, I'm sorry, made one mistake here. Get rid of that hopper, and we need to continue it out to here. Okay, then that goes right there, and that goes into that one. Okay, so you can see what's happening is these hoppers go this way, then this one goes into this one, and then they go all the way back around here, and then it feeds back into itself, and it comes back around again. I'll explain later how this works, but for now let's just get it built. And you're going to need a couple blocks here for putting up some other stuff. So that's pretty much all the hoppers you're going to need. Now let's set up some blocks that we're going to need to control the hoppers. So we just put a 2 wide set of blocks here. Okay, and then what we want to do is put comparators for every hopper. We want 1 comparator. Okay, and then starting redstone on this block, go all the way down here, and come out here with a repeater there, a few blocks, one up here, then another one up here, And we just come around and stop right there and put a torch right here. Okay? And then I kind of like to be minimal, so you don't really need those blocks. Alright, so that's that end there. Now we didn't put redstone here, because what we need to do is put a torch here. So we're going to invert a signal right there. So let's come around here. Okay, actually, okay. Yeah, I don't know how to turn the weather off, so actually, I'm sorry. Okay, so 3 out from the hopper, and then just make a loop around like this. Okay, so now we put comparator there, repeater, and then some redstone going over there. Okay. Next, let's put this in here. Okay, and we don't need that block. So put 4 blocks on this 1 block below, kind of corner to that block, and a block there, and then get a redstone feed off of that. Don't need that block. And then on the other side of this block right here, we need to put a torch underneath that hopper. Alright? So let's finish this area that we left off earlier. So we bring out some redstone here, 2 blocks, torch on that side there, 2 torches here, a block on top of each torch, and then let's get some, we're going to put something here in a minute, but let's do this first. Let's bring this out to here, and I'm going to put a block right here with a switch. Okay? And put the switch down. And put some redstone right here. Okay? Alright. Now, let's take this out, and we need to put a crafting table. Crafting table right there. So we need to dig this out. We need to dig out 8 blocks over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And do another 8 block down below. Oh, actually, we need to move this back. We'll do that in a minute. Okay, and then let's put our packed ice in here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, then let's get rid of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't have to use packed ice, it just makes the items move a little faster going down there. Then we need to build a 2 high wall around here, because the items sometimes when they shoot out of these things, they bounce around a little bit. So this 2 high wall will keep everything contained in here. Okay. And let's, just to kind of stop some clicking, turn this off for a second. This needs to be moved back 1 block. Put that switch right there, move that 1 block. See, because you need to give yourself a little bit of empty room there. Okay, switch down, and let's put the redstone back in. Okay. Then let's get 2 buckets of water. Okay. Put 1 bucket there. And see how that'll stop exactly here, and then a bucket there, and that will stop exactly there. Alright, and then put a couple blocks here, kind of pretend that there's a wall there. Okay, so that should be it. Should be ready to go. And yeah, so this is the switch that only turns on the stuff to shoot out. It doesn't stop it from doing the distribution of all the items throughout the system. So let's go ahead and fill this up. Let's turn it on real quick just to make, you know how sometimes when you're building stuff falls in the hoppers. Let's see if anything's in there. Nope, it's pretty clean. Okay, so shut it off. All right, so let's go over here and let's put in some wheat. So put some wheat in there. You can see he's draining it out. Put some more. Put some more in there. Okay. So it should be distributing it now. So that one is 2, 2. Let's go all the way over here. 3. One set of things just came through. So you can see it's evenly distributing them right now. So we'll just watch this one. It should go to 4. Okay. So that guy's 4. Okay. So they're all working nicely. That was the above hopper. There we go. 5. Okay. So it's nicely evenly distributing everything. And while that's going, let it build up a little bit. I'll kind of explain a little bit of how this works. So currently it is kind of limited to 16. The reason for 16 is because that's the maximum length of a single redstone line. I haven't worked out yet how to extend it further because it's pretty sensitive to the timing. If you really want everything exactly evenly distributed, the timing is tricky. So this timing is kind of controlled pretty well. So what ends up happening is the items come flowing down this line from wherever your source is. They come flowing down here, and every hopper should have one item in it if you kind of think about it as it's coming down this line. When this comparator picks up the fact that there's an item on this hopper, it turns on and then inverts the signal and then allows these hoppers below to pull the item from that's sitting in there at the very top. And the reason why all the items are sitting in there is because items only move so quickly through hoppers, and when you have the hopper below it, it can pull the item through. So while these are on, it disables these hoppers so that if these weren't here, if all these repeaters weren't here, the items would come flowing through and they would immediately get sucked in at this one right here first. So this one's holding all these hoppers from working until there's an item at the very end. And then usually if there's an item at the end here, all of these have an item in them. One item. Unless you didn't have, say, at least 16 to start with. And then once that sees that down there, all of these trigger at the same moment. That's what's nice about this. They all trigger at the exact same time. And they pull the stuff through the hopper. If you notice this is the inverse of this signal. It allows the stuff to come through the source, and while these are pulling items through the top line, it holds this stuff back so so this first one doesn't get special attention and start pulling in things that it shouldn't. So that's why this is here, is to hold this guy back while these are allowing the stuff to go through. So that's why this very first one is no special than any other. See how it's, you're always going to be off by like 1 or 2, but he's no special than any of the other ones, and that's what this is doing right here. That's the whole point of that. And the point of these 2 hoppers, you may ask, well, why don't you just have to compare it off of this hopper right here? That's because there's a little bit of a delay in the system. So all these hoppers up here, see, these are live. They're not being turned on or off or anything like that. So as the stuff's coming through, there's this torch down here that's also holding this hopper back. But you have to give this comparator time to turn on, then you have to give this repeater time to turn on. So that's 1, 2 ticks. And you have to give this torch time to turn off, and then these to turn on. So you're looking at, approximately 1, 2, 3, 4 quote ticks, if you will. And if you have these 2 hoppers here, that's what helps alleviate that delay of recognizing that something's here, then going through. If you put the comparator right off of this hopper, you're not going to get even distribution through all the items. And then finally, this piece back here with the 3 torches, it's pretty standard. It's just a pretty fast, super fast clock, and you turn the clock on and off by providing power to it. And this super fast clock, all it does is it's pulsing all that redstone down there against the droppers when you're ready to do your, compressing and hay baling or whatever. So that's pretty much it, and that's how it works. It took a little while to get the timing right so that everything is very even in distribution. Now the nice thing about this system though is that, yeah, this is being used currently for evenly distributing items and shooting them out very quickly so that they all build up around you and then you automatically pick them up and create whatever you're creating. But you can also use this for, say, like a really big furnace where you want to, in parallel, cook a lot of stuff and do it quickly. And so you can use this system to evenly distribute items for that. And any other things that you're working on that need even distribution, this is a really nice way to do it. I had other versions that had more complicated stuff over here, but I found out that the key is this torch system here, and the rest of this makes it fairly simple. And the key is the timing and all this stuff is doing it work right. So let me show you, I already showed you how it works over there when you're actually using the crafting table, but let me show you what it looks like when you can just watch and see the items come out if you're standing over here. So let's turn it on. Okay, so that's what's actually happening behind you, and then see how they all kind of flow in, and then you just pick them up. See how they move quickly? That's the packed ice. You don't have to use the packed ice, just they won't get there as quick. So if you kind of hang out near this thing and you have your farms feeding this, these chests eventually will fill up after these hoppers and droppers do. Then you have a ton of stuff in this thing. You got a lot of work to do. But one other thing I guess you could consider a downside is that it's homogeneous, meaning it only works with one type of item. So you can't like mix. It doesn't really make sense to put iron in here, wheat, and melon slices. You really should just keep one type of thing in here. Otherwise, it's not going to work well. What I would recommend is that if you did have a wheat farm, iron farm, gold farm, and melon farm, or anything that you can turn into another block, a snow farm or whatever, then you would probably build one of these for each type that you have. That's what I do in my survival world. And you have a sorter system that feeds into these, and then when you know that you have enough stuff in here and you want to bale it up, you just come over here and you just configure your inventory like I showed you earlier and do that. So hopefully guys you thought this was cool, and let me know what you think, and see if you guys can build it, and maybe you can improve it too. So alright, thanks for watching. Bye.